Welcome inside to South Albany High School, where we have tonight's matchup between the Philomath Warriors and the South Albany Red Hawks, squaring off in a 5A versus 4A matchup, with the 4A team being the Philomath Warriors, the defending state champions at the 4A level, after an incredible run to the state championship led by their leader from last year's senior guard, Sage Kramer, who is now off playing college ball. And in this new season, the Warrior squad is looking for a new spark, and they found one yesterday, or rather to say last game, with a big win over Junction City 50-18. And the Warriors dominated in that game, with Abigail Brown especially being dominant in that game in the post play. Well, South Albany is also coming off a win this season, with each team having one win on the year. South Albany wearing the white and red tonight, while Philomath will be walking the red and gold. Philomath will be rocking the black and gold jerseys, sponsored by Jordan. Some new swagger back on the squad, while
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's Mid-Valley Pickle Conference varsity basketball game between the Philomath Warriors, coached by Ed Silver, and your South Albany Redhawks, coached by.
And with that, we are underway here inside South Albany High School, home of the South Albany Redhawks, who will be taking on the Philomath Warriors, the defending state champions at the 4A level, coming in tonight with a 1-0 record after their win over Junction City. That win came just a couple nights ago. Starting lineup for the Warriors tonight, bringing out at the guard, it'll be Annika Steen, followed by the other guard, Haley Couture. Down low, it'll be Annika Tryon, in addition to Abigail Brown. And rounding off the guard play will be Mia Bennett. And as the lights dim down and the starting lineup for the Red Hawks gets set to come out, both teams coming in with 1-0 records this year on the season thus far. As I mentioned, the Warriors with the win over Junction City. Madeline Angel, a guard, starting tonight, just a freshman. And the Warriors are definitely slimmer on their roster this season. dressing down just 10 players on the roster this year. Well, last season it was much deeper with around 15 players, if I do believe correctly. It was quite the run last year, but it's a new era in the Philomath basketball program. Ben Silva did a great job last year with the help of Sage Kramer, the outstanding guard player of the year last year in the 4A division. The Warriors without her now as she moves on in her life journey onto college ball in California. And so with that, the Warriors have not been ranked as the preseason number one. Rather, they are ranked at 5th currently in the polls with something to prove without their star players on the team. But surely looking to use that chip on their shoulder to their advantage. Rounding the starting lineup for the South Albany Redhawks, it'll be number 22, Carson Angel, with number 21, Taylor Donaldson, another freshman in this starting lineup alongside Madeline Angel. And Kaylee Cordell, another freshman in the starting lineup. Very young lineup, followed by Riley Parker Jr. But 3 of the 5 starters for the Redhawks tonight, rocking a freshman season and looking to get it underway. Right from the tip, it's Abigail Brown who tips it up the court to Annika Tryon, who throws it off the top of the backboard and gets her own rebound, but it's called a jump ball in the process. And so taking it out of bounds will be Donaldson. Will hand it off to her teammate, Parker, who will take it up to the court. She spin moves, hands it off, and turnover on the play. Intended for Angel out on the edge. Officials regroup the ball. 7:43 as we start this first quarter. Steen taking it up the court. She hands it off on the near side to Haley Couture. Couture moving to her right. Passes it over to Mia Bennett over on the right side edge. Back at the top of the key is Abigail Brown, who swings it over to the Couture on the near side. She takes a couple dribbles and passes it over to Steen. It's tipped away out of the hands by Angel and stolen away by the Rebels. Rather, the Red Hawks. And doing what they can. The Warrior in the edge around the rim, but she gets the foul on the way up the line. There's 6:49 left to go here in the first. And with that lefty shot that she has, Abigail Brown drops in the first free throw to score the first points on the night. Rocky number 32 for the Warriors this year, as she did last year. She knocks in the second. And the Rebels will take the ball up the court with Angel, the freshman point guard, taking it up. She dishes it over to the edge and gets it to Angel, her sister, Carson Angel. But a foul called on the play, on the floor. That foul coming on a Tryon. The Rebels will take it out of bounds with Donaldson being the inbounder to Madeline Angel. Inbounding it, Angel takes it up one-on-one with Tryon. She swings it over to the edge. It's with Carson Angel. Carson Angel gets back, shoots from 3. It downs off the back iron and into the hands of Steen, who takes it up the near side. She throws up the court to Couture, who's trapped in the corner and stolen away. It's taking it up the other way. Angel coast to coast. She lays it home with the lefty lay. And putting on the full court press are the Red Hawks, with Couture finding some trouble in the corner. She's called for a travel call and resulting in a Warrior turnover. Donaldson will be the inbounder from the baseline. She tosses it up to Carson Angel, who tosses it over to Riley Parker. Dishing it to Madeline Angel. Gets it back in the corner. Madeline Angel swinging it over to Kaylee Cordell. Cordell gets it up on the left elbow and off the far side shot from Carson Angel. But she gets her own steal right after the rebound from Couture and goes up for the shot and is fouled on it. She'll go to the line, shoot a couple free throws. It's just under 6 minutes to go. Still a 2-2 game here in South Albany High School. Warriors have a little trouble early on maintaining the ball possession. The pressure getting to them a little bit. Angel misses her first free throw. Takes a couple dribbles, spins the ball, and throws it up and back iron and throws off to the left. And Tryon with the rebound for the Warriors. She swings it over to Abigail Brown, who takes it up the left side of the court. She gets it to Tryon, who drives in the corner, driving baseline, steps out of bounds, but is fouled before. And that foul coming on Carson Angel. That's her first. Steen set to inbound for the Warriors. She tosses it in on the post, low block for Brown, who misses it off the top of the glass. Taking it up the court the other way off of the rebound, Madeline Angel. She dishes it off, hand off to Riley Parker. But Parker turns it over with a travel call in the process. Inbounding is Tryon for the Warriors. She gets it into Steen on the near side, and she is fouled as she catches the ball by Madeline Angel. That's her second. Young point guard learning to maintain foul control. And another young player, sophomore on a inbounding it is Donaldson, who gets it in to Angel. Angel getting it back over to Donaldson. Donaldson at the top of the key, one-on-one with Tryon. She drives in, dishes to the corner to Angel. Fake shot and jump line on the mid-range jumper. It's no good, but it's rebounded by Cordell. Cordell swings it over, and on the drive from the far side is Parker. She lays it over the top of the backboard, but once again on the rebound is the undersized Angel, who gets it and throws it out to Cordell, who misses the long-range three. And finally coming down with the defense rebound for the Warriors is Steen, who gives it up to Couture, who swings it over to Mia Bennett, who dishes inside to Abigail Brown, who misses the layup in the process. Madeline Angel, the freshman point guard, taking it up the court. She gives it over to Donaldson, who drives now on the far side of the block. She gets it to Parker. Parker gives it back to Angel, who hands it off to Donaldson on the near side. She's stuck in her tracks at the free throw line. She gives it over to Parker. Back to Donaldson. Inside on the drive is the other Angel, the elder of the two, Carson Angel, the senior. Substitution for the Warriors. Ingrid Olesto, a key member of the state championship team for the Warriors. An impact player, certainly always moving around, creating action on the floor. She checks into the game for Mia Bennett. Stolen away while taking it up the court was Steen. And it's stolen away by Parker, who gives it over to Donaldson. Donaldson fakes the three and gives it over to Angel, the younger of the two. Angel dribbling, and Ben Silva chooses to take a timeout, as the Warriors will look to regroup here with 3:55 left to go in the first quarter. A tied 2-2 ball game, with the Warriors struggling early on to find consistency on the offensive floor. Have a couple of turnovers here tonight already. But certainly a struggle for sure for Ben Silva with his new squad. Without that leader and extremely talented guard that is Sage Kramer, who was so phenomenal last season. You could pretty much count on that she was going to get at least 25 in each and every game. So certainly a big loss for the Warriors, and it's definitely for the past 4 years, as I was in the same class, a Warrior alum. With Sage Kramer, she's an incredible human and an incredible athlete, and that's why she is playing NIIA basketball right now. But the Warriors still have work to do, and they, as their motto was last year, unfinished business. And with this new team, this new core, there might be new business to finish. That starts here tonight. 3:55, 2-2 ball game. Wide open three look in the corner off of the inbound for Parker, who misses it. But it's rebounded by Donaldson in the paint, and she goes up for the shot and is called for a jump ball. It'll stay in the Red Hawks' possession, with the inbounder being new substitution Ruby Shoemaker. Shoemaker inbounds it to Parker, who misses the layup. Couture taking it up the other way. She gets it over to Steen, who gets a wide open three look and banks it home off the glass. Over to Steen with the first points of the night for her. Gets the triple to get knocked down. The Warriors putting on some sort of a press, but that left Parker wide open for the three. She didn't get it to go. Couture taking it up the other way at the top of the key. She swings it over to Ingrid Halesto. Halesto back over to Tryon, who gets it back over to Couture on the right edge. Looking inside for Brown, but Brown is stripped away by the Carson Angel. She gives it to her own Madeline Angel, and who swings it over to Donaldson for a long-range three on the near side. And that is off the far side. Angel, once again, looking for a teammate who's there in the corner in Cordell, but misses everything on that one over the far side of the rim. And thus the Warriors will take possession again with 2:45 left, leading 5-2 in the first quarter. Tryon is tipped away as she attempts to inbound, with Angel once again with great defensive effort, along with her offensive efficiency. But Tryon gets it into Couture, who had trouble taking ball up the court today, and she struggles once again. A jump ball called, as in on the defensive play was Parker. But they will stay in the Warriors' possession. Set to inbound and set to substitute. Couture now will be taken out after a rough start to the night. Mia Bennett being the replacement. Inbounding the ball, Tryon gets it to Brown, who goes up inside and gets fouled on the shot on her lefty side. She'll go to the line for the second time tonight. She nailed her first two. Look to do the same with the second. And a key member of that state championship team as well, the driving force in the low block that allowed the Warriors to really open up their game with Kramer, creating both an inside and outside threat. Brown misses one and nails one, the latter of the two being the miss. The Warriors now leading 6-2 with just over 2 minutes to go here in the first. And with the Red Hawks taking it the other way, playing a bit of the handoff game with new substitution Amelia Moss into the game. On the drive is Angel, the younger one, and blocked on the shot as she tried to drive. The lefty shot denied at the rim by Brown. Warriors taking it up the other way. Steen at the point guard position, hands it off to Halesto, who gets it inside to Brown, goes up strong on the left side, isn't able to rattle it home. It's tipped away back into the hands of Mia Bennett, who's struggling as she tried to get away from the defensive effort from Parker. Parker forces on yet another jump ball, the third of this first quarter thus far, and resulting in a turnover as the possession switches over to the Red Hawks. The young point guard, Angel, taking it up, gets it to the near side where Parker is there. Angel swinging it back over Moss for three off the left side, and right there to get it is Ingrid Halesto. She gives it up to her teammate, Annika Steen. Steen takes it up the court, back to Halesto on the near side. She stalls with the ball, throws a lob over pass to Tryon in the paint, but Tryon is not able to get it to go, resulting in yet another turnover for the Warriors. Their fifth tonight. Certainly something that Ben Silva is not pleased about early on in this game. Taking it up the court is Donaldson, who steps into a three and launches it off the backside of the rim. Taking it the other way in transition is Steen. She stops her tracks and gives it over to Brown on the near side, who gives it right back to Steen, who's up at the top of the key. He gives it over to Bennett, who tosses one inside. It's nowhere for Steen to grab, and thus a turnover once again. Donaldson taking it up the floor. Moss on the right side. Dishes it in the corner. Donaldson is there for a corner three. It rattles off the top of the rim, and there jumping up and receiving the rebound is Steen, who takes it back up the far side. Just under 40 seconds left to play here in the first. Bennett at the top of the key, giving it over to Tryon. Steen with the ball now on the left corner. And she tries to drive and is fouled on her attempt. With that foul coming on number 34, Rafi Alvarado. Checking into the game for Donaldson. New substitution for the Red Hawks, Caitlin Cox. Warriors will take it out of bounds after a foul by the Red Hawks. And trying to play a little trickery was Steen, who tried to bounce it off the back of the defender and try and lay it home, but officials said she was out of bounds or some confliction with the rules. Taking it the other way is the notorious young guard, Madeline Angel, who gives it up to her teammate, Ruby Shoemaker, who gets it inside to Angel again. Taking a long three is Kaylee Cordell off of the pass from Angel, who gets it to go, cutting the deficit to just one as the buzzer sounds here at South Albany High School. A low-scoring first quarter with 11 points combined between the two teams, with that last three by Cordell being the cutting the deficit that the Warriors have had the advantage, and thus it is a 6-5 ball game in advantage of Philomath. We'll get underway shortly here in the second quarter, but first quarter takeaways. Warriors very turnover heavy in that first quarter, with around 6 turnovers in total in that quarter. Certainly something that Coach Ben Silva is going to want to address to ensure that that does not happen come the second. The Warriors once again holding their opponents to a low-scoring affair, with them being one of the best team in the state, but one of the best defensive teams in the state as well. Something that Philomath basketball in general, just the programs, both women and men, have prided themselves in. Taking pride in that defensive end of the floor. And the Warriors have been playing the zone tonight. It's been working pretty effectively, but the Red Hawks have gotten some good looks from downtown. So certainly something to keep an eye on, as the Red Hawks have some good shooters. New substitutions for the Warriors. Mia Bennett coming back into the game. Well, a fresh start for a new member of the varsity squad this year, Mika Boynton. Just a sophomore of 5'10". She'll join Brown in the low block. At midcourt on the near side, it'll be Tryon who will inbound the ball to Bennett. Bennett gives it back over to Tryon off the immediate inbound. Giving it over to Helesto on the near side edge. She swings it over to Boynton. Boynton gives it over to Steen. Steen on the far side of the court. Tries to dish inside to Brown, but a terrible pass, and it's stripped away by the Redhawks, who are scrambling down to the floor at midcourt, trying to get the ball. And a jump ball called as a scramble was happening at midcourt between Moss and Boynton. But the Warriors coming out the victor in the battle for the jump ball, or rather, the Redhawks will come out victor in the possession. Lots of jump balls in this first half, and Ben Silva is clearly frustrated with his new point guard, Anna Christine. Moss driving on the other end for the Redhawks. She takes it on the far side, shoots up a shot. She swings it over to her teammate in the corner, Cordell, who's unable to get it done. Steen taking it up the other way. She's pressured at the top of the key by Ava Marshall. Brown now at the top of the key off of the pass from Steen, and she tries to get it back to Steen, and is stripped away and taken coast to coast by Marshall. On the other end, under 7 minutes to go, the Redhawks have their first lead of the game. Here in the second quarter, 7-6 the lead. Slim margin, but certainly a margin. Still going with their full court press with the top two guards being Marshall and Cordell. Ben Silva burns another one of his timeouts to try and get his team some regroupment, realignment, trying to find some fluidity in this game. Well, the Redhawks have seemed to find their rhythm on the other end. And especially defensively, whether that be the Warriors' own mistakes or the Redhawks playing good defense. You can credit either or based on your perspective, but certainly been a rough start for the defending state champs of Philomath. Ben Silva trying to figure it out with his team, but you can only do so much on the sidelines before the team can implement it on the court. Well, the Redhawks looking to build off the momentum swing as they've gone on a 5-0 run. Here to end the second quarter and to start. Here to end the first quarter and to start the second. Boynton sets the inbound with the full court press still on for the Redhawks. She gets it into Steen, who drives on the near side. She is heavily pressured and stolen away by Cordell, but called on the secondary foul was Marshall. Set to inbound for the Redhawks on their side of the court, standing in front of their own bench is Ruby Shoemaker. She gets it into Marshall, who tries to work through the full court press that the Warriors have put on themselves. Cordell gets it over to Shoemaker, who gets it over to Moss on the near side. She puts up a three, but not enough mustard on it. It's rebounded by Steen, takes it up the court, left side, gets it to Ingrid Helesto inside, gets a good look, but doesn't get it to go. And a travel call by Boynton on the rebound as she was trying to dish it back out to Steen in the near side corner. That is now the 7th turnover for Philomath tonight. Substitutions coming in for both teams with Aaliyah Parker coming back into the game, as well as Annika Tryon for the Warriors. She substitutes in for Mika Boynton. Steen on the inbound trying to strip it away from the Redhawks, and they do, and she gets it up the court to Helesto, who misses her shot. She swings it over off of the rebound to Tryon, who's there on the far side elbow. She puts up a shot, but is fouled, and will go to the line and shoot two. Tryon yet to score tonight with 5:59 left to go here in the second quarter. 7-6 lead for the Redhawks, and make that 7-7 as Tryon knocks down her first free throw. Tryon nails the second as the Warriors reclaim the lead. Redhawks with 7 fouls already, while the Warriors have just 2, but the turnover game playing the biggest factor. Taking it up the court was the Redhawks, and they weren't able to get the shot go from Cordell on the left side, but on the second effort was Taylor Donaldson, who wasn't able to get it to go, but she was fouled as they'll take it out of bounds. Inbounding ball, Cordell gets it in to Parker, who dishes inside. Donaldson outside. Parker again driving in the lane. She throws up a shot. It goes short, but it's rebounded by Shoemaker. Shoemaker gets it back out, but it's stolen away by Ingrid Halesto, who rolls it on the ground to her teammate, Annika Steen, taking it up the court, having trouble to find life tonight. She works through the trouble, trying to at least, and gets it to Brown, who recovers the ball after a tip away by Donaldson. So she gets it back to Steen and gives it over to Bennett, who drives in the lane, but is called for a travel on her attempt. The 8th turnover for Philomath tonight. It's been a drastic start. The Redhawks will take it the other way. Donaldson faced with the full court pressure from Steen and Halesto at the top of the key. 2-man 50 press. Working through it is Marshall, who gets it over to Donaldson for 3 from long range at the R of the Redhawks logo. Knocks it home off the bank of 3. They hit double digits for the first time tonight. 10-8 the lead. The Warriors trailing, while the Redhawks leading with just under 5 minutes to go. Off of the inbound from the Warriors from Tryon. It's stolen away by Donaldson, who gets it inside to Marshall and is fouled and knocks it home. And one shot for Marshall. And a good run for the Redhawks thus far. As Marshall knocks it home, that makes it 13-8 for the Redhawks, who have put together a 9-2 run over the past span. Taking it up the court is Brown, who gets it inside to Tryon, who gives it over to Steen. And then the new freshman substitution, Zoe Howard, goes up for the shot and is fouled and will go to the free throw line. Howard, a standout and product of some great middle school programs that she had been a part of. Was a person on this team that Ben Silva has been looking forward to being a part of their lineup. And she misses her first free throw of this game. She spins the ball in her hand, looks to convert the second, and does so as it rattles home. 13-9, the Warriors trail, 4:41 left here in the second quarter. Marshall taking it up the other way. She loses the ball as she spins to the floor. Tryon taking it coast to coast, but it's stolen away by Cordell in the far side corner of the court. She gets it to Marshall, who will try again. Taking it up the court, she slows down this time at midcourt and gives it over to her teammate on the end. It's Donaldson, who gets it inside with a good look. Is Angel, who is unable to get it to go as it's tipped away by Tryon on the block. Taking it the other way is Howard, who gets it to Halesto on the near side, giving it inside to Brown, who converts the layup. The Warriors back in at 13-11. Within 2 now. Marshall guarded by Halesto, with the Warriors switching to a man-to-man defense. She gives it over to Donaldson, who gets it out to Cordell for long range. Yet again, it goes no good as it's short, and looking to get her own rebound, but falling to the floor and the ball rolling out of bounds. It'll be Warriors ball at the baseline with the near side. Tryon faced with the full court press. trying to inbound to Howard or Bennett. Bennett is the recipient of the pass. She works through the full court press and is called for a travel as she cannot do it. Guarded heavily by both Angel and Marshall. The 9th turnover for the Warriors tonight. Warriors with as many turnovers, approaching on as many turnovers as they have points. Dishing it inside is Angel trying to get it to Parker, who's unable to convert the layup on the left side. It's rebounded by Halesto, who takes it up the other way and gets it in the corner. Taking it is Zoe Howard, who tries to take it back up to the top of the key. She comes down on the floor as she is swarmed by Red Hawk defenders. And a jump ball called as players fall to the floor. It'll stay with Philomath. 3 minutes and 9 seconds left to go. The Red Hawks are in bonus with 8 fouls, while the Warriors, it's just 4. Set to inbound is Howard. She gets it into Halesto after quite some time. Halesto gets it over to Bennett on the far side edge. She gets it back to Halesto, who's there to receive it. She pump fakes a pass inside, gets it up top to Brown, who tries to throw it over the top to Tryon, but Tryon is unable to get it down. And thus the 10th turnover for Philomath. Marshall taking it up the other way. One-on-one with Ingrid Halesto. She goes to the right side and is fouled by Halesto, who is called for a block in the path of Parker trying to drive, Marshall rather. Marshall receives the ball from Angel, the elder of the two. Marshall drives right side, tries to dish inside on the bounce pass back to her teammate, but is unable to get it as Caitlin Cox, her teammate, is fouled on the ground as Red Hawks will take it out of bounds. Riley Parker set to inbound. Parker inbounds to Angel. She gets it back off the screen from Angel, who gives it back up to the top of the key. It's the elder Angel. And she comes down after shooting up a shot. It's rebounded by Zoe Howard, who gives it backside, near side by Mia Bennett, who swings it up the court to Halesto, who unselfishly tries to give it up to Brown. But on the second effort of defense, Madeline Angel able to get it done with the steal. But the Warriors may remain in possession as the ball rolled off the hands of Angel. Checking into the game for Halesto. Back in is Mia Bennett. They give it up to the court to Annika Steen, who's falls hard to the floor as she is fouled trying to get the ball around the three-point arc. She'll go to the line, with that being the Red Hawks' 9th team foul. 2:15 left to go. The Warriors 13-11, trailing currently. Steen yet to score a point tonight. Steen with on the 1-and-1, misses to the left side of the rim. Taking it up the other way is Marshall, who's at midcourt with the Red Hawks logo. She's guarded by Tryon. She gives it over to Moss. Moss throwing a three up. It goes off the far side. It's into the hands of Abigail Brown, coming down with the rebound. She gives over to Tryon, gives it up to Steen, taking it up the court, hands it off back to Brown, right back at you to Steen. Steen giving it up to Tryon. He swings it over to Zoe Howard on the far side edge. Giving it into the far corner, Mia Bennett drives baseline and is fouled by Moss on her drive. She'll go to the line as the Red Hawks now hit 10 team fouls. So they are now in double bonus. So it'll be 2 shots for the Philomath Warriors, who trail 11-13 with 1:38 left to go in the second quarter. On the first shot attempt, it is no good by Mia Bennett. Checking into the game for both teams. Back into the game for Cox is Donaldson, while for the Warriors, Mika Boynton will check in for Annika Steen. Off the back rim, Bennett unable to convert on either free throw. On the rebound is Donaldson, gives it over to Marshall, who hands it off as she takes it up the court to Angel. Angel giving it up to Moss, gives it back to Marshall on the near side, up to the top of the key. It's Moss on the drive. She spin moves in the lane, is stuck in her tracks, gives it up to, in the corner, it's Cox, and Cox gives it over to Angel, who takes it up to the top of the key and is called for an offensive foul. The Warriors will take it out of bounds, with Tryon being the inbounder. Still remaining in that full court set is the Red Hawks. Tryon gets the inbound to Bennett, who takes it up the court. At the point guard position, she falls to the floor, and the ball rolls out of bounds off of Madeline Angel's foot. 1:08 left to go here in the second quarter. Zoe Howard will be the inbounder. She's defended by Angel. Howard gets it in to Tryon, who immediately turns it over as Marshall steals the ball away. She takes it up the court, gets it to Moss in the near side corner, who dishes inside to Cox, goes up for the shot, no good, as it's blocked away by Abigail Brown, her third block of the game. Zoe Howard taking it up at the point guard position. Spin move as she hands it off to Tryon on the near side. Gives it up to Bennett, who gets it back to Mika Boynton, who gives it up to Marshall and is tipped around and ultimately bounced out of bounds as the Warriors turn it over, their 10th turnover, or rather, 10th turnover of the half. Under 30 seconds to go here at South Albany High School. An offensive foul coming on the far end of the floor, down at the low block. So the Warriors will get the ball with 26 and a half seconds left here in the second quarter. Tryon, the inbounder, working through the full court press yet again. She gets it in, but is to Bennett, who's swarmed by South Albany defenders. Driving up the court is Tryon, who drives up and is fouled as she was coming up the court. A blocking foul coming on the Red Hawks. With that foul coming on Marshall. Rather, Angel on the foul. So a substitution set to come in for the Red Hawks. It'll be Parker who will check in for Angel, who picks up her third personal foul. Converting on the first free throw was Tryon, breaking the Warriors' scoring drought through the majority of this second quarter. She nails the second as well, as we're at a tie ball game, 13-13, under 20 seconds left to go here in the first half. Marshall driving it the other way, trying to drive inside. She gets a nice dish pass at the low block. There for the shot is new substitution for the Red Hawks, Ruby Shoemaker. Shoemaker was fouled and will go to the line with 11 seconds left to go here in this first half, 13-13. All tied up. Shoemaker takes a couple dribbles, shoots it, rattles around the rim a couple times, but ultimately drops in. Shoemaker shoots again and banks the second home off the glass. 15-13, 11 seconds to go. Warriors trying to work through the press. And on the travel call, not finding her pivot step, was Mika Boynton, the young sophomore, still in it trying to figure out the varsity level play. On the inbound from the Red Hawks is Donaldson, who gets it inside to Marshall. And scrambling for the ball is Moss and Zoe Howard. And ultimately coming with the jump ball are the Warriors, who will keep the possession with an eighth of a second left on the clock. Not much the Warriors can do here, and they just inbounded simply to Howard. And after a tumultuous first half that included 10 turnovers on the Warriors' part, They still remain within two by way of their defense, but the Red Hawks in control after one half, leading 15-13 over the Warriors. Great guard play from the Red Hawks, getting good ball movement from Marshall and Angel, and had some good looks from 3-point range, but ultimately weren't able to rattle those home, while the Warriors on the other end were simply just not making good passing attempts, and we're just not finding solid connections around the court, and this is pretty difficult for them to find some rhythm. They weren't really finding rhythm offensively, and unlike the Red Hawks, the guard play has not been very good, as Augustine has really struggled to maintain possession and control as the new point guard of the team. The Warriors still looking for that new role, whether that be Howard or Tryon, Howard or Steen rather, has yet to be determined, or Mia Bennett in the mix. Whereas last year it was all Sage Creamer. That was you go to. You didn't really have to think about much else. Just get Sage the ball. And they did that a lot of the time, and it worked out pretty well. But this year it's a much taller task with a bigger challenge in finding a new role for the offense and what Coach Silva wants to do. He'll certainly have some stuff to discuss schematically with his team in the locker room. But we'll take a quick break and let the halftime run, and we'll be right back for the second half. How about that? And we are back. And we are back here at South Albany High School, home of the Red Hawks, who currently lead the Philomath Warriors by a score of 15-13 at the half. The Warriors had a rough start to the game, committing 10 turnovers in the first half. Certainly something the Warriors will look to correct, but got to give credit where credit is due. The Red Hawks put on great pressure on the Warriors with several steals, leading the way with several guards making very nice plays for the Warriors, for the Red Hawks rather, with Angel and Parker, Marshall, all of them in the mix on the defensive end of the floor. And holding it down low is Taylor Donaldson. So the Warriors and the Red Hawks rocking the red and white, while the Warriors rocking the black and gold. As each team retakes the floor, with Donaldson set to inbound to Madeline Angel, with the rest of the Red Hawks scouting the floor being Kaylee Cordell, along with Carson Angel, and Riley Parker. Angel working on Annika Steen, swinging it back over to Donaldson at the top of the key, who gets it to Cordell. Cordell swings it back over, looking for Donaldson, but is not there. But there to save it on the far side was Madeline Angel. And able to get it done. It's off the foot of Steen, who kicks it out of bounds. The Red Hawks will inbound it. Donaldson to swing it over to Cordell on the near side. He gets it over to Angel, gets it back to Donaldson, swinging it into the corner of the far side. She gets inside to the elder Angel, who is blocked by Steen. Steen takes it up the other way on the right side. She swings it over to Tryon, gets it inside to Bennett, dishes over to Tryon, but the pass is stolen away by Marshall, who's looking to go coast to coast. She swings it in the corner to Cordell, who comes up just short on her jumper, but gets her own rebound, gets back up outside the key. She gives it to Angel for a corner three. That's way off the mark, over the top of the basket, and trying to come down with the rebound was Donaldson, but she'll toss it out of bounds. And signaling, trying a work through the press is Silva. Coach Silva in his fourth year at the helm of Philomath basketball. Was a former assistant on the men's squad and has done terrifically with the women. Looking to keep it going yet again this year. Off to 1-0 start, trying to keep that going. At the top of the key is Angel for the Red Hawks. She gets it over to Cordell, swings it right back to Angel, handing it off to Parker. Back to Angel on the near side. Gets it in the corner, and for the shot is the elder Angel. She comes up just short as it rattles off the rim and into the hands of Abigail Brown, giving it far side to Steen, takes it up the court, and a nice pass there at the blocks to Ingrid Holesto, who drops it in with her lefty shot. Ties it up 15-15, 6 minutes to go left in the third. Trying to drive on Steen was Angel, who loses her dribble, but is picked right up back by Donaldson, who loses her dribble but recovers again and takes a side step and looks to drive on Tryon. She stopped in her tracks, hands it off to Angel, who throws far side corner for Cordell, shoots up a shot, and once again crashing the boards to get her own rebound, but not able to get it done. Does a good job at following. Steen taking it up the other way, gets it inside to Holesto, who goes up on the shot and is fouled. She'll go to the line and shoot a couple free throws. 5.5 left to go. And Warriors putting on a better defensive performance to start this half. A couple of steals shutting down the Red Hawks down low, but leaving open shots. Several open looks for the Red Hawks, but just haven't been able to convert from either side of the basket. And that could come to haunt the Warriors if they don't clean it up here soon. Holesto misses the first, but nails the second. Taking it up the court for the Red Hawks is Angel at the top of the key. She gets it at the right elbow to Donaldson, who swings it back to Angel on the baseline, who makes a nice backside cut and lays it up home. Red Hawks retake the lead 17-16. 5 minutes left to go. Scrambling for the ball is Steen on the inbound. She loses it. And getting the ball is Parker, who shoots the three off the mark. Nothing but air on that one. Misses to the right side of the rim. And will be forced out of bounds as the Warriors regain possession. And calling off the Dogs is South Albany Red Hawk head coach Mark Cordell. So the Red Hawks no longer in the full court press, but they are still in the offensive attack mode. They take it the other way with Cordell passing it over to Parker, who goes up for the shot and is fouled as she comes down. She'll go to the line and shoot a couple free throws. Each team with one team foul tonight in the second half. Knocking down the free throw. The first of two is Parker. New substitutions for the Red Hawks is the Studley guard, who made some action in the second quarter, Ava Marshall, along with Amelia Moss. Parker knocks down the second free throw, making the lead 19-16, just under 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Also checking into the game on the Warriors' end, Zoe Howard. She takes it up the court now. Gets it inside to Brown, who recovers and gives it up to Tryon at the low block, who lays it home. Cutting the lead to just one. Marshall gives it to Parker on the far side edge, swings it back over to Donaldson, who gets it to Moss on the near side, gives it up to Marshall at the top of the key, who puts up a three, but coming down with some contact with Halesto. She'll go to the free throw line and shoot three. So for the Warriors, who only had 5 fouls in the first quarter, with many of them not coming on shooting, they've had a rough start to start this quarter, and especially in a tight, low-scoring game like this, can't be giving up free throws, especially with a good shooting free throw team in the Red Hawks, who have converted quite a few of them tonight, including the first from Marshall. Make that 2. Monica Steen checking back into the game for Halesto, who's gotten into foul trouble. Foul trouble challenged Halesto a lot last season and limited her ability to be on the floor as much of an impact player that she was. Marshall misses her third and final free throw, with Abigail Brown coming down with the rebound. She gives it to Annika Steen, the new point guard for the Warriors, trying to live up into the shoes of Sage Kramer, and hasn't been able to do so thus far, and once again commits a turnover. The Warriors' 11th turnover tonight, as she misses her pass over the top of Abigail Brown. Steen guarding Marshall at the Red Hawks logo mid-court. Marshall drives to the far side of the court, gets the screen from Angel. She uses it and drives on a wide open layup look, but is not able to get it to go. It rattles around the rim into the hands of Brown, who gets it to Steen on the far side, swings it back over to Zoe Howard on the near side. She gets it in the corner. Fermia Bennett thought about a shot, picks up her dribble, and now stops again. Gives it up to Steen, who gets back to the top of the key. Far side pass to Tryon. Tryon gives it back to Steen at the top. Throws it back over to Bennett. And looking for the shot, no good, but the timeout by Ben Silva coming first, as the Warriors will look to regroup once again in a funky performance for them. 21-18, the current score, with 3:17 left to go here in this one in the third quarter. And the student section at the game for the Red Hawks making some noise. Small but mighty, certainly.
What you doing?
Broadcasting.
Can I say hi? Is there a lot of people in there?
Not really, no.
Huh?
Not really, no.
There's 0? Let me say something.
No,
Please?
no.
What's your streaming name?
The Warriors will retake the court with the Redhawks still in their huddle. Warriors making no substitutions, staying with their same lineup. With Bennett set to inbound it for the Warriors. Took the last shot that rattled off the rim. Redhawks will retake the floor. Currently in control, 21-18. 3:17 left in the third quarter. Bennett set to inbound. She gets it into Tryon in the corner. Tries to look for Brown inside. The pass once again too high for her reach, although she is 6'4". Taking it up the court is Marshall. Gives it over to Parker. Gets a great look from downtown, but it rattles in and out once again. As the looks have just not been dropping for downtown for the Redhawks, but the turnover game for Philomath keeps giving them opportunities as the Warriors turn it over once again, this time it coming by Steen, who is unable to regroup the catch. Donaldson inbounds to Marshall, who straddles her way at the top of the key. She swings it in the corner to Parker, sidestep, dribbles, gives it to Angel on the drive, throws up a shot, unable to get it to go. Donaldson on the second effort, off the rebound and is fouled on the shot. That foul coming on Tryon. That'll be Tryon's third foul. The Warriors' third team foul as well. As the South Albany Redhawks are finding a way to get to the free throw line tonight. At least in the second half, to say. Donaldson makes the first. Takes a couple dribbles. And nothing but net on the second. 23-18, just under 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. The Redhawks lead the Warriors. Tryon gets the ball, swings it up the court to Bennett. Bennett dishes inside to a leaping Zoe Howard, who was unable to gather her step as she came down from the air. And thus, the 12th turnover for Philomath tonight. Marshall taking it up the court for the Redhawks. The quick, elusive guard hands it off to Donaldson, who passes it back to Marshall in the corner. She drives baseline, bounce pass inside for Cordell. Banks it home on the driving shot. The floater is good. And quite the run for the Redhawks in this second half, continuing to build upon their lead. Cordell, free throw, no good off the left side. And scrambling for the rebound is Moss and Tryon. It'll be called a jump ball, so it'll turn over to the Warriors with possession, with the Redhawks re-implementing their press. Philomath getting the inbound. Tryon to Steen, back to Tryon, who throws it way up the court, and a lousy pass results in his turnover as Moss steals it away, but gets it inside to Cordell, who turns it away for the Redhawks as well. Steen gets it up the court to Zoe Howard. Howard on the far side, driving in the lane. She's stopped in her tracks at the low block. Steen trying to turn it back at the left elbow. It's Abigail Brown, whose shot bounces off the right side of the rim and is rebounded by Steen, who is fouled as she was coming down with the shot. The rebound to say. Mia Bennett will check out of the game, while Mika Boynton will check in for the Warriors. Steen on the baseline inbound, looking for someone to dish to. She gets it to Boynton. Boynton gives it back to Steen. Takes it up to the top of the key. Throws it into Abigail Brown. Spin move on the drive. Post moves work as she drops it home. 25-18. Should be 25-20 now, with just under 90 seconds to play in the third quarter. Cordell on the far side edge gets it to Angel, who comes in on the underhand floater. It's no good off the back iron. Rebounded by Tryon, gives it up to Steen. He swings it far side to her counterpart, Zoe Howard. Howard working one-on-one with Angel. Gets it at the right elbow to Steen, who throws an over-the-top pass inside to Tryon. Good look for the Warriors. Tryon gets the shot up, but is fouled as she comes down. She'll go to the free throw line. Just a minute left to play in the third. Tryon nails the first free throw, making it 25-19. With a pair of substitutions coming for the Red Hawks as Moss and Angel check out, while Cox and the other Angel check in. The second free throw from Tryon hits back iron and is back in the hands of the Red Hawks, who lead by 6 points. Marshall leading the way in that effort as the point guard. She gets it to Cordell on the edge, who throws inside to the elder Angel, who misses it to the left side of the rim. Annika Steen coming down with the rebound. She'll take it to midcourt at the top of the key. She's stripped away by Marshall. The scrappy Marshall gets the steal, and it's tipped out of bounds off her hands as Mia Bennett checks back into the game for the Warriors, while Abigail Brown will check out. One of the rare times she has checked out of the game tonight. And Annika Steen set to inbound while Marshall checks out. And Moss checks in, with Coach appearing to see if Marshall was injured, checking in with her and asking if she was fine. She replied back as I read the lips that she is fine, but certainly doesn't appear so as she walks to the locker room and straddles back. The play on the floor. The Warriors getting some good looks from Zoe Howard, who gets inside and lays it home. 23-25, the Warriors back in it. Under 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Moss on the other end called for a travel call. And with 22 seconds left here in the third, the Warriors have a chance to tie up this game. Steen at the point guard helm once again. Guarded by a low, squatting Donaldson. Boynton gives it over to Steen, who is unable to receive it. Cordell on the steal. Long pass over to Moss on the fast break. She tosses up a layup, and it rattles and rolls off the left side of the rim. And that'll do it for the third quarter. The Warriors trying to rally 25-23. Philomath trails. South Albany holding on to their slim 2-point advantage. South Albany getting a great run in that third quarter, but unable to hold off the Warriors there at the end, who are starting to find their rhythm down in the post, starting to connect with some of those passes, but are still struggling in gripping the ball and being able to have efficient ball movement, while the Red Hawks, on the other hand, have a very efficient ball movement and very good defense, and have been very good in the transition game, but have just been unable to convert from long range, which has hindered them from really pulling away in this game, with their largest lead being 7. That was cut down there at the second end of the third quarter, 25-23. Now the score, with just a 2-point deficit for the Warriors. With 8 minutes left, the final 8 minutes that are to come in this matchup, 5A versus 4A. The Warriors looking to come in and get a necessary win tonight after an underwhelming team against Junction City. This would be a necessary win for a team that is coming off a state championship. Donaldson inbounds it to Cordell, who takes it up the top of the key. She swings over to Moss on the far side, gets it back to Donaldson at the top of the key. And an illegal screen is called on the Red Hawks. And so it'll turn it over to the Warriors. One of the rare times that the Red Hawks have been the fault of a turnover. That has more than been the Warriors' specialty tonight. Annika Steen taking it up the court. She gives it over to Zoe Howard. Howard driving in the lane. At the top of the key, gives it over to Steen. Long range 3, high arcing. It bounces off the back of the rim, but on the rebound, able to get it down, is Mia Bennett, who gives it back to Steen at the top of the key. Gives it over to Bennett on the far side edge. Back to Brown at the top of the key. Brown swiveling on her pivot foot. Gives it over to Zoe Howard on the near side, who regroups the offense. She gives it over to Mia Bennett on the far side. Dishes inside to Brown. She is denied on her receiving by Donaldson, who tips it out of bounds. And a three-lady substitution for the Red Hawks. Subbing into the game for Moss, Cordell, and Cox is Marshall, as well as Shoemaker. Additionally, Parker is into the game as well. 7:14 left here in the fourth. Off the inbound pass from Steen. Brown gets it up top of the key to Bennett, who gets it inside to Brown again, who lays it up and banks it home on the fadeaway shot. 25-25. We are all tied up in South Albany. Swinging it around the court, the Red Hawks are. They get it inside to Parker, who gets it outside to the Elder Angel. Nothing but air on that one yet again. Brown on the rebound, gets it to Steen, throwing it way up the court. And Steen turns it over once again as she throws it up the court, with Coach Silva yelling with his hand motions, slow down. That has been something that the Warriors have not been able to do tonight, kind of rushing through their offense. As the team that has been in rhythm tonight with their offense on both ends of the floor, defensively and offensively, it's been the Red Hawks. But Steen with the nice play tips it away at the hand of Marshall. She goes to the other end and lays it home coast to coast. A nice play from Monica Steen and gives the Warriors the lead. 27-25, 6:17 left. A big defensive play. And Coach Silva, as Steen re-enters the huddle, shakes her shoulders and says, slow down. And once she does that, she might be an okay point guard, but just a little anxious, little eager as a young sophomore, trying to fill in the shoes of one of the greats to ever come through Philomath High School, if not the greatest, in Sage. Big shoes to fill, but she's been doing the best she can, and has certainly been looking to correct her mistakes as she has progressed throughout the game. A nice play there to go into this timeout, and the Warriors with a critical final 6 minutes to bunker down on the defensive end of the floor, really close in on those outside shots, make sure they don't fall. They haven't been falling too much for the Red Hawks tonight, but they could start falling at any moment. It only takes a hot little run for a team to build up quite the advantage. And the teams will regroup and restart as they take the court once again. Zoe Howard checking into the game for the Warriors, with the Red Hawks maintaining the same lineup, besides the younger Angel, who is checking into the game now. She stands at the far side edge with Marshall taking it up the floor. And she gives it up to Parker, who's on the near side, and gives it at the top of the key. It is Donaldson who is fouled on the ground. That foul coming on Annika Tryon. So they'll take it on the baseline. The Warriors' fifth team foul. Still 3 away from bonus. Cordell gets it into Donaldson, but is unable to maintain it. And coming away with the steal is Zoe Howard, who is fouled on the ground as she was regrouping the ball. The Warriors will take it out of bounds, with Tryon, as usual, being the inbounder. Has been the theme tonight. Once again, in their full course press is the Red Hawks. Tryon gets it in and gives it up to Steen. Steen taking it up the court, tries to dish inside to Brown, who is unable to receive it as it's tipped away by Cordell. Cordell gets it to Donaldson, who throws one over the top to Angel, and Angel unable to come down with it as the far pass was too much out of her reach. Full court press, Warriors working through. They get it in from Tryon to Bennett, back to Tryon. Still on the far end of the court, looking to get past half court. They do. Bennett on the far near side Gets it up top to Tryon at the top of the key, wearing number 23. Trying to be like Mike in these final moments. Just under 5.5 left to play in the fourth. Zoe Howard with the ball. She drives, she spins, she travels. Turnover for the Warriors there. 15th turnover tonight. Despite a disastrous turnover night, they are still leading by a pair of points. Marshall taking it up the court for the Red Hawks at their own logo. She drives to her right and is knocked to the floor. Is Steen. They dish it to Donaldson at the top of the key, and she nails it home. The critical three that has been not able to drop tonight for the Red Hawks. But if one finally does, they regain the lead 28-27, 5 minutes to go in the fourth. The Warriors on the other end looking to make some magic. Bennett in the corner, dishes inside. Brown up on the layup and is fouled as she was shot. Called on the foul is Donaldson. That being Donaldson's third. So Brown, who has been very effective at the free throw line here tonight, will look to come through in a critical way. Quiet offensively, more so than usual. She misses her first free throw. Still one more chance to tie it up. Lefty shot. Drops in off a little spin. 28-28. Marshall the other way. Gives it to Donaldson. Driving inside. Far side of the key. Gets it up top to Parker. Back over to Marshall near side. Hezzy steps. Gives it to Donaldson, who's been hot. Drops it back. Comes up short. On the rebound, Marshall. Driving inside. Float game, no good. Off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Angel. The offensive rebounds continuing to be in the favor of South Albany. Donaldson gets the ball on the far side. Hezzy step. Gives it back to Marshall at the top of the key. Parker on the drive. Kick out to Donaldson. Three-pointer. No good off the back iron. And another offensive rebound for the Red Hawks. The Warriors cannot seem to get anything going on the defensive end of the floor. Driving is Marshall. She misses her shot. Rebounded by Donaldson. Dishes out to Parker. And bang! Bang! The Red Hawks nail it. 31-28 they lead. 33 minutes and 45 seconds left to go. The Warriors turn it over again. And it's into the possession of Marshall. Once again, the Warriors lacking any ability to rebound on the defensive end of the floor. Closing out has not been existing tonight. Angel hands it off to Parker. Working around the edge of the three-point arc. Dishing it to Marshall, who drives. Float game, no good. Tipped by Brown. Gets into the hands of Zoe Howard. She takes it up the court now at midcourt. Guarded by Cordell. Dishes it in the quarter. Bennett with the ball. She strips it and called for a travel as she was trying to work through the jump ball. And a turnover, the 16th for the Warriors. 31-28, 3 minutes to go. The Red Hawks will have possession at the other end of the floor when we come back from this timeout. That one being called by the Red Hawks. An intense one here down the wire for each team having critical possessions left to come. Each team with still room on the fouling end of the floor. The Warriors with 5 team fouls. The Red Hawks have 6. So each have a little leeway before we go to 1-1 at the line. The Warriors have got to find a way to get the rebounding, though, as that last possession that ended with the critical three from Parker from outside. The Warriors have got to find a way to get a stop here, and they will apply the full court press to try and do just that. Steen and Ingrid Halesto on the press at the top of the key. Parker on the far side edge has the ball, gets it back to Angel, gives it up to Marshall. The three guards working in unison. Marshall gives it up. It's Angel. Tosses. They're working around the arc. Marshall back with it. Spin move. Pivot foot. Gives it to Parker. He's stopped by Howard, who's called for the foul as her arm was in the way of the pass. Warriors and Redhawks now even 6 apiece as far as team fouls go. 2.5 minutes left to go in this one. The Redhawks get it in to Marshall, who goes fast, steps back from Tryon. At the Redhawks logo, she gives it to Parker, who crossover steps on Howard, gets it in the corner, Cordell. And dishing it inside is Angel, gets it back to Cordell. Far side shot is no good off the back of the rim. Halesto with the ball, gets it to Steen, who takes it up the court, is stopped in her tracks. A far side pass to Howard, a risky pass that could have been intercepted, but it was not. Howard with the ball, crosses over to her left, stopped in her tracks, stripped away by Cordell, taking it the other way, drives in the lane, but is blocked and fouled on the shot. Just under 2 minutes left. Cordell will go to the line with a 31-28 advantage, looking to make it a 2-possession game down the stretch. And the Redhawks replicating some of the trance of the Warriors student section from back home. Cordell nails the first. It's a 4-point advantage. Mia Bennett checking into the game for the freshman Zoe Howard, who did what she could but was not able to get the job done with 2 fouls in that possession as well as a turnover. Cordell does not make the second. It's rebounded by Brown, who gets it to Tryon, throws it up to Ingrid Halesto, passes half court, is stopped her possession once again. Tryon drives in the lane, hucks up a layup. It's rebounded by Steen. Going to the floor is Tryon trying to get the ball and off the hands of the Redhawks. It'll stay on the Warriors into the floor. 1:40 left to go. 32-28. The Warriors trail by 4. Tryon will go to the line off of the foul that was on the edge as the teams were scrambling for the ball. So as both teams are now in bonus with 7 fouls, Tryon will shoot 1 and 1. She nails the first, nothing but net. 32-29. Just a 1-possession game now. Looking to make it a 2-point game is Tryon. Low squat, high shot, drops it home. Redhawks taking it the other way. Just 90 seconds left to play in this one. Donaldson a one-on-one with Halesto. She drives to her right. It is blocked by Brown in the lane. Brown strips it away and gets it to Tryon, who gives it to Steen. And Steen at the top of the key, looking to facilitate. She gets it on the far side. It's Bennett. Bennett over the top pass to Tryon, trying to get it to Tryon, but ain't able to get it to Marshall. Angel the other way. And blocked by Brown in the key. Big block by Brown down the stretch. Getting some critical stops on the defensive end of the floor where the Warriors have been lacking. And Ben Silva will take a timeout. The Redhawks holding just a 2-point advantage with 1:07 left to go here in South Albany High School. Definitely a close one between these two. And the Warriors have really stepped it up at the defensive end of the floor. And big-time players make big-time plays and big-time moments, and that has certainly been the case for Abigail Brown. Has not been able to necessarily contribute at the level she's used to at the offensive end, but has been doing what she can at the defensive end, where the Warriors have needed critical stops here as they try and tie this one up. They're going to need some offensive production, especially in the paint where the Warriors have lacked ball movement. Ball movement has been the struggle with several turnovers, several lousy passes, and have struggled to really get open and have kind of rushed through their offense. And there's not much slowing it down now. You kind of got to take care of one possession and one possession only and get a good look. Being down by 2 with just a little over a minute to go. We resume play. at South Albany High School, home of the Red Hawks. Visiting Warriors down by 2. Parker gets it in. It's stolen away by Steen. Steen taking it up the far side of the court. Throws it up to Halesto at the block. It's no good at the rim. It rattles off and into the hands of the Redhawks yet again. And fouled at the baseline. Marshall fouled by Bennett. Marshall will go to the line and shoot 1-1. Critical free throws here for the Redhawks. Marshall at the line in her purple shoes. Rocking number 2. Looking to drop 2. She doesn't drop the singler as the rebound comes off the missed shot by Brown. Swings it up to Alesto, who throws a bullet of a pass way over the head of Bennett. And the Warriors trail still by 2 with 48 seconds left. The Redhawks will start with a baseline full 5-man press for the Warriors. A long Hail Mary pass to Cordell. Bounce pass over to Parker. She regroups and resets the offense at the top of the key. The Warriors are going to have to consider fouling eventually, or else the Redhawks will just simply run out the clock. They're playing that game right now, just simply dishing off the ball. And finally coming in to foul is Steen, who will send Angel to the line, the younger of the two, Madeline Angel. Will shoot 1-1. The Warriors 1 foul away from double bonus. 3 dribbles, a spin, a shot, back iron. Rebounded by Brown. Gives it to Steen on the near side and throws it right into the hands of the Redhawks. Really intercepted by the Redhawks. Marshall literally right there in the paint. It was not even close. And Marshall was fouled immediately as she received the ball. So she'll go to the line with 23 seconds to go. This time she'll shoot 2. She converts the first. A Studley guard who has been doing a great job of facilitating for this Red Hawk squad is looking to come up big in the biggest moment. She converts the second. Some critical free throws there for Marshall. The Warriors have not much time to work. They have to do something here and put up a shot. Steen crosses half court, and Silva will call a timeout. 17 and a half left to play. The Warriors trail by 4. We're going to have to which is something they have not done down the stretch. They have done very well at converting their free throws and their three-point attempts. They've made some critical shots, and the Warriors have made some critical mistakes, and that has been really the difference maker here in this fourth quarter. But there's still plenty of time left on the clock for the Warriors to do damage. Ben Silva trying to rally his squad has had lots of signs of frustration tonight. Certainly not his team's brightest day. But at the end of the day, it's all about the win. And if they can do that, you can walk away with some sort of a smile at the end of the night. The Redhawks, the Warriors, both retake the floor, 34-30, 17 and a half left to go in this one. Both teams in bonus. Annika draws it in, top of the key. Steen launches a 3. Nothing but air. Trying to rebound it. Leaping out of bounds is Mia Bennett, but is unable to come down to inbounds. 13 seconds left. Inbounding for the Redhawks. They get it in. Angel crossing half court. She's fouled by Steen. And Angel will go to the line. She missed her 1-1 free throw, but she can ice it here with a couple of attempts. She hits it off the back iron, but it drops in. 35-30. That'll pretty much wrap this one up. She'll shoot the second. Misses it. It's into the hands of the Red Hawks. And as clock winds down, the South Albany Red Hawks take down the defending 4A state champions, Philomath Warriors, who had a very disappointing, underwhelming performance. But to convert for the Red Hawks. And something that Ben Silva is going to have to do is live without Sage Kramer. And the life without Sage Kramer has proved to be difficult thus far last season until very late against Staten in that devastating loss near the end of the season. But it's a long season ahead. Certainly things to correct. It's still young. Many opportunities to grow. And that is what the Warriors will try to do. Coming up next on the Blake's Take live stream, we've got the Philomath men's basketball team, who has put on quite the show this season and shocking the state, taking down the number one preseason ranked team in the Junction City Tigers. They will look to keep it rolling against the South Albany Red Hawks of the men and try and change the narrative of what has been a rough start for Philomath tonight. You can come right back here and tune into that one. It should be a good one here in about 20 minutes or so. Once again, from the women's final, 35-30, the Warriors fall for their first loss of the season and their first loss since that state championship that they won back in the spring. We'll see you all soon. This has been Blake Neiman signing off.